I was worried because
Well, you want to talk
Christmas with the fuck. Yo.
because the high was so good.
So the high was so good, you'd think he was partying harder than last time we co-drank in Mepsigram while hiding and invading from the police.
All I wanna say is thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
He's showing us the legs. Imagine the excitement Mike Israetel received upon watching this video in secret.
Over the next week, I'm gonna be testing banned drinks to see how dangerous they really are.
Will testing banned substance, I promise he never Mepsigram. She has 2 venti cold brews for 4,000.
And my heart rate's already at 1.
Just how normal. But I'm also worried.
Lower calorie.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
With the CEO first. What's more?
Yeah.
What's sort of older? I think the CEO.
Yeah, we'll do the CEO first.
I'll tell you. When I saw that they were CEOs, I started crying.
Yeah? You were with joy.
No.
What's my opinion on Alex Eubank? He is a fucking cocksucker. Love how the guy says he's Christian and everything, and he's one of the gayest fucking, like, dipshits. Just obsessed with his fucking looks, gay-ass fucking haircut. Starts taking steroids, obsessed with fucking money and social media clout. Like, the guy's just a tool. With sad?
Sad.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How come?
Because it's just, I don't think that we should see this type of violence on camera, and it's just terrible, and we shouldn't have this type of thing happen.
Okay, that's a hot take. 580 leaked to be 1600, 5090 probably 3K.
I'm recording this late Christmas night, and if you celebrate,
some of this pricing sounds like they have a shortage of supply. It's like 1600 for an 80 series? That's kind of fucking crazy.
this is a leak that I got from somebody who works at a retail store that's in Australia, mind you. So it is different from the United States. Release date, price, and...
Oh, so this is an Australian. Okay, that's different. Australian's way below the US dollar. So it'll be just under 1,000 USD, and then... Yeah, it's kind of in line with their newer cards. Yeah, this isn't Australian dollars. Australian currency is pretty far behind USD. It's like 60 cents on the dollar. Thanks for the donation, W. Ben donated $2. Let me see. Trump appears to side with Musk. Tech allies in debate over foreign workers roiling his supporters. I mean... Not allowing H-1B visas is just fucktarded, dude. That's stupid even for Trump. Okay. Elon Musk is not in the United States because of H-1B. What is he fucking talking about? I am pretty goddamn sure this guy never got an H-1B visa. Thanks for the donation, Ben.
The Cringe is a
There, Sammy.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think it was coming?
No, he probably didn't deserve it.
No, he didn't deserve that. The shareholders did.
They didn't deserve it.
What? Are you out of your mind? Are you trying to get me? I walked Bob Dylan to the stage.
W22, he didn't even watch it. 1600 is converted from Australian Aussie dollars, 2800.
X factored in. We multiply by 1.1 or divided by 1.1, which seems to be a standard tax in Australia. I'm not 100% sure. These could be a little bit iffy, but as you're going to see, it's not really going to matter because this is at MSRP without the tax. Relating to USD, $1,586. This is a 5080. Just remember that there is a 5090 above this graphics card. And just remember, 3080 was $700 before. The 3080 was perfectly reasonable at its price point, and they increased it by $500 in one generation. Insane. Insane amount of increase in price, and that made the 4080.
Yeah, I know they've been having trouble selling their 80 series cards from the previous generation, and some of their lower end cards like the 4060 haven't sold too well, and Nvidia's also focusing on like artificial intelligence and shit. So I think some of the justification for this price is to get people to buy up old stock, and they might have like just a shortage of silicon, basically, where you know, their big moneymaker is all those AI cards they're selling now. So they may just be producing very few of the like 5080, 5090, and then they're just charging a fuck ton of money for it.
80 kind of shitty. Later on, X4090 cost it. Over time, yeah, it's gone for mainly like $2,000 or so. And the 5080 would be in the place.
Ugh. Well, that's a lot of money. Thanks for the donation, W.
Nicholas.
No. Okay, so this fat Patsy
Video of
Brazilian.
dancing in front of animal cage. Let's see what perplexity.ai comes up with for an answer. Nope. I couldn't find any specific video of it dancing in front of an animal cage. The search results include general information about dances and events, such as iconic dances,
iconic.
and Orthodox weddings, but nothing match. Everybody kind of suffers from under the thumb of these robber barons. I don't know anything in particular about United Healthcare, but
Biggest offender.
are they?
Yeah, probably like they're the Nissan, the Jeep. They're the real putting out the bad product, expecting the good money, denying the claims, doing the bulk of. I'm not saying internally. I hate when people say taken aback.
Yeah.
It just seems like something all of a sudden you're like smoking pot and now you're like a laureate. I was really taken aback by you saying like you were upset by this.
Yeah.
You don't think that the public should be exposed to this stuff?
I think. Well, no, I was kidding, but I think I was kidding, but I think there's two sides to it. One argument you could make is that a lot of the people cheering for this are leftist, let the world burn type people.
Yeah.
And this is I think there's a difference between targeted violence, which this is, and the type of violence that most people want to see, which is burning down stores.
Isn't Musk trying to increase H-1B visas? Won't this hurt American tech workers?
No, I don't really see that doing anything. Like, here's the biggest issue over the next decade or two. China is in a race with the United States to create artificial superintelligence, and it seems like it's going to happen pretty soon. Like over the next decade or two. And once they're able to do that, you know, you're going to be able to use a superintelligence to solve all the world's problems, cure every disease, completely manipulate the economy, and create like super weapons that can just take out a nation in like minutes. So you really do want to increase the amount of brain drain, particularly coming out of China. So yeah, the more visas they give, especially to like high-level Chinese that are working in like artificial intelligence and everything, the better. I don't really see it being a huge issue for you know, tech workers having to compete with foreign labor. It's just not that big of a deal. There's also been like a ton of fucking tech layoffs recently. So I don't think it's really gonna matter all that much. Like, you're talking about very... I'm assuming with the H-1B visas, they're targeting very specific fields where you literally cannot get enough American workers to fill those roles. So as far as tech workers in general, I don't see it being a problem. I'm pretty sure like a huge amount of the layoffs in the tech industry were shit like people who were working in like HR departments, stuff like people who are managing like terms of service, stuff like that. So it's not really people who are in skilled labor. But yeah, the H-1B visas is a good idea. Thanks for the donation, Alex.
Why do you think Kaji will come in the next 10 years? Just because of the growth of AI we saw in the last few years? And do you think the nation that gets it first will take over the world?
Yes. The reason I think it'll happen in the next 10 to 20 years is just the insanely rapid accelerated growth. Like, it's advancing ridiculously quickly. And not only that, there's a huge financial incentive to really advance these AI technologies. So much resources and money is getting poured into it. I think it's going to happen really quickly. It's kind of like, you know, the next moon mission. There was just huge political pressure to get to the moon, and we did it in pretty short amount of time. Like, the Wright brothers invented the airplane in like the 1910s. And then, you know, 60 years fucking later, we were on the moon. That's from not having any flying machines at all to literally landing on the moon in 60 some odd years. And that's entirely due to political interest. So, since there's just so much political, financial interest in AI and developing superintelligence, I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. Thanks for the donation, though, David.
John Zerker advice.
My best pickups are, I like your toes. You got the same toenail color as a pedophile. And she starts laughing uncontrollably. What the But she's in a state of play. If I said, what do you do for work? She literally thinks, he's making me feel old. We're getting political. All the conversations are about play. You put Disney movies on. It's all childish. Like Arthur Schopenhauer said, one of the greatest minds, he said, I've come to the conclusion that women never age up from a child's mindset. And they really don't. That's why you give them $1 million, they buy IKEA furniture and don't invest and lose all of it. How many of them lose it?
What about the ones that like restoration hardware and shit? Restoration hardware. What the ones who like that?
Hillary Clinton masculine types, we don't want them. Out of the equation. My best pick.
I'm surprised Bradley Martin's willing to have this guy on his podcast, considering all the crazy controversy, like deliberately trying to pick up underage girls. Thanks for the donation, though, Durka.
Please tell me you actually believe in the moon landing. Man, you are dense. Open Discord now for this debate.
Yeah, the moon landing happened. Thanks for the donation, Corona Bro. Yeah, I saw that he had Dan Bilzerian on. These people have no fucking shame.
Basically, in the minds of the average person, shooting this United Healthcare CEO is on the same level as like smashing the windows in an Apple store. Like, it's just as awesome. It's just as cool. Like, fuck that Apple store up. Let's see it. Let's blow that Apple store up. Like, meaningless dog barking into the wind type attacks that only make things worse. Only make it so that the surveillance state has more control, has more of an excuse to be in your business, has more whatever. The other thing is that has to be said is that if it's not proven that the FBI didn't do it, the FBI probably did it.
Did that?
Right. They do everything else. Why is this on the news so much? Does this narrative kill CEOs? Does this narrative, like, handsome guy shooting a CEO of a healthcare company, like probably a hated company. I haven't even looked into it. I don't know.
Hated.
A hated company. Okay. If this is such a shocking narrative obliterating action, why is it on every news channel every day? Like, it's just getting play on.
It has Masonic undertones to it.
Yeah.
289.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 3-digit significance. He was taken in custody at 239, at 239 blah 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 street, 239. United, United. I know this is like really silly, but like the flights that did 9/11 were United Airlines, right? Was it American Airlines? Can I just double check? I was thinking about this. Like, it's always like words and shit. It's like baseball. Baseball's a Masonic game. They always like there's a American,
I think.
Was it American? No, United Airlines.
No,
Yeah, it was United, like uni, whatever. It doesn't matter. Could mean something, whatever. And there was like something about some 3-digit code that I've never heard before, and I would like to know the significance of it. The significance of it does it brings you to a passage, and then that passage means like blah 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 blah. So you're saying. So my question back to you would be like 2 questions. One, does it say if you fucking plebe, you don't even know how bad the recourse is going to be or the retaliation is going to be for you celebrating for this, and this is going to open the door for them to jam a telephone pole up your ass? No?
I think if it was a threatening narrative at all, it wouldn't be on the news. It would be on the news for like a split second before they pulled it off. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they do.
Hey VG, how are you today? I had a good gym sesh, at 78 kilograms, I muscle snatched 82.5 kilograms, snatch pulled 140 kilograms, squat rack held 170 kilograms, I could have done more weight but grip was shit. Getting stronger though.
Muscle snatch? I'm not too familiar with Olympic lifts. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Olympic lifts. But, you know, as long as you're getting stronger. Thanks for the donation, Wandering Mason. Dodo donated $2, let me see. China just approved the construction of the largest infrastructure project ever. Huge hydropower dam will be built on the Yarlung River in Tibet. Yeah. China literally does not give a fuck. So I guess that's why they cared so much about Tibet. Luxembourg's foreign minister representatives why their textbooks for Palestinian school kids are full of anti-Semitism and terrorism glorification. Holds one of the books in his hands but gets no response from UNRWA. Well, we know UNRWA is really fundamentally a terror organization.
I know you don't fully control, but then you have to accept the critics from their sides to say UNRWA is not neutral on the education if they teach this. That's what I try to...
When the teachers use it, I understand they will be...
Yeah, okay, but it's in the book, you know. It's in the book. If you are not aware in the classroom, so just if I want to defend you, help me to defend you. So this is what is important. This, and it's an example, you know.
Yeah, very much appreciated the feedback.
I'm not diplomat yet, but at least I tell you the things. Huh? So I told you you're not perfect, but you can get better. I know.
So, for context, UNRWA's provided textbooks to Palestinian kids that have said the Holocaust never happened. And they've also glorified major terror attacks against Israel, calling them, like, they've called terrorists brave mujahideen, who literally just blew up like buses filled with innocent people. So that's the shit that UNRWA does. And then they claim they're not anti-Semitic, they are neutral in, you know, everything, when they're not. They're literally like supplying Palestinian kids with terrorist textbooks. Allah, Allah, sing with me, Richard. Yeah, women are no longer allowed to be visible from house windows under any circumstances. If the kitchen has a window, women can't even cook near it. You know, it's weird how gay Muslim society is. It's just so strange how they do everything they possibly can to avoid looking at or hearing women. But then they tell everybody, you know, when you die, you know, fighting, you know, the infidels, you'll get 72 virgins in heaven. Are you allowed to look at them? It's so strange. They do everything they fucking can to avoid contact with women, but then they're like obsessed with fucking virgins. I don't get it. Allah Akbar. Taliban government in Afghanistan has declared war with Pakistan, with reports Taliban fighters already in parts of Pakistan. Isn't Pakistan a nuclear power? Pakistan has nukes, right? How many nuclear weapons do they have? 170. Yeah, Pakistan should use all of its nukes. Just nuke Afghanistan. Blow up all the buildings that, the Taliban are in, and just nuke them, blow them out of existence, Get it over with. Dodo donated $2, let me see. Gay.
أشهد
أشهد
أن
أن
لا
لا
إله
إله
إلا
إلا
الله
الله
وأشهد
وأشهد
أن
أن
محمدا
محمدا
رسول
رسول
الله. الله أكبر.
Dude, white women are fucking stupid. I never see any Chinese women, you know, converting to Islam. I never see any, like, I guess I don't know if I've seen black women convert to Islam. I've only ever seen black women leave Islam. Yeah, it's like only white girls. They're fucking stupid. I don't know if it's some like weird fucking domination fetish where they just want to be like beaten and abused and told what to fucking do all day, but yeah, it's only white chicks.
We woke up. 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 Yeah.
Another white chick. It's only stupid ass white women who are willing to fucking do this shit. It's gotta be some weird fetish.
Talking about Islam. And then, you know, I said, I need proof. How can I be expected to believe in something without proof, physical proof? I need physical. He says, okay, cool. You know, he did. He went up onto his little bookshelf, handed me the Quran. He says, there's your proof. And he was talking to me about ayahs, talking to me about revelations, talking to me about, you know, prophecies of the Prophet ﷺ. And he was talking about these, and I'm thinking, I can't contradict.
Like, by the way, it makes sense for a dude to convert to Islam, especially if you're some loser bitch incel, because, oh, I'm gonna get virgins in heaven? Like, yeah. So, it kind of makes sense if you're some loser bitch incel twink who can't get bitches to convert to Islam, because, like, yeah, how many fucking Islamic terrorist groups in Africa literally recruit men by promising them that if you join our Islamic regime, we'll give you a wife? That's one of the reasons why there are these Islamic terror groups that are massacring villages in Africa. They literally go from tribe to tribe, killing everybody, and then they kidnap women and then force them to marry dudes in their terrorist group. That's how they do recruiting. So, yeah, I could imagine if you're some dumb bitch, incel, loser, twink, cuck, Islam would seem kind of appealing. But, yeah, these people are fucking pathetic.
Can't contradict this. But it's one of them ones where, you know, you're stubborn with yourself, so you're like, You don't want it to be right, but it is. And that's what it was for me, because at this point, I've never considered a religion, ever. And a lot of my friends were Muslim anyway. So Islam's never been a bad thing to me, because I've always known Muslims who are good guys, but we never really spoke about Islam, because, you know, your boys growing up, they're just your guys, you know, you never talk about religion, you never see them as a color, or, you know, they're just your people.
This guy's fucking gay as shit. Look at his, like, gay little bitch beard. He can't even fucking grow, like, facial hair in normal places. Like, the dude's just a fucking dumb bitch. Dodo, thanks for the donation, Dodo. Dodo, let me see.
Agreed. VG Afghanistan must be destroyed at all costs.
I don't know why Pakistan would even put up with that shit. You know, just drop one nuke. Just one, you know? And, you know, if they still want to fuck around, find out, then just obliterate them. You know, you gave them a fair warning. And then, you know, if they still want to fuck around, find out, just obliterate them. They have enough nukes. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
My friend sent this from Pakistan. Have you seen it? $10.44 I thought was pretty funny.
Let me see.
No, we're friends. You don't need to control. If this lady wants to chat, we met supporting Julian Assange. I don't kill anyone.
If you like Julian Assange, you've got to get some truth. If you want to be a journalist, then get the truth.
Uh-oh, you're going to get told not to talk to me. You're going to get told not to talk to me. It's okay, the lady can speak for herself, or is this like Gaza tactics? Don't let the women talk. Hey, you know, in the West, you're allowed to speak to men. You're allowed to. Don't let these terror supporters tell you can't chat to me. Hello, mate. How are you? Oh, yeah. Fist bump. Woo! Merry Christmas. There you go.
Dude, the exact same shit was happening to me when I went to that, pro-terrorist protest in fucking Ottawa with all the Hamas supporters. It was always women who would be willing to talk to me, and then they'd be, like, shoved around by men saying, don't talk to him, don't talk to him. Every fucking time. There were at least, like, 3 or 4 women who were actually willing to have a conversation. Then there'd be some, like, fucking dude who came by. Don't talk to him, he doesn't want to kill Jews, you don't want to talk to him. It's fucking retarded, man.
But they're not gonna, look at these men, they're not gonna let you chat to me. Uh-oh, that's it, take the woman away, don't let her talk to the man. Oh, ho, ho. Yo! Merry Christmas. Oh, I missed it. Very good. Merry Christmas, you mother effers. Say Merry
20,000 dead kids? Like, these people are just delusional.
Christmas, Jensen and Tyler. Merry Christmas, Jensen and Tyler.
Oh, man. Thanks for the donation, Wandering Mason.
LOL Riley, that was hilarious. You should have seen the look on that bitch Cuck Richard's face. He looked so fucking punchable and stupid when he saw Jurida's face.
Thanks, 21st Savage.
Anytime there's a story that is not doesn't fit what they want you to think, they get rid of it. Like
So you're saying this is celebratory?
The guy that ran over the Christmas parade, that black guy that drove through the white Christmas parade and hurt those people, that type of shit. It's not on the news because it threatens the narrative. So whatever this is, it's not threatening, okay? It's if anybody's looking at this thinking, we the people are going to have an uprising against the CEOs, you're not, because you're looking at it on CNN. It's on the news. So you're not going to be partaking in anything like that. Whatever your visions of violence are, or comeuppance, or getting revenge against the man, it's not going to happen because you're watching it on the news. You're like mentally, you're in the psyop. You're like thinking something.
You're killing cops in virtual world.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the metaverse right now, being a badass. You're doing graffiti in the metaverse.
You're doing graffiti in the metaverse. And the other thing is there other?
What are your thoughts on Tommy Robinson?
The guy's just a scammer. He was never particularly wealthy until he started selling bullshit courses where, he promises people how to make them fucking rich with his, bullshit, he doesn't even really give advice. It's boomer crap. So 90% of what Tommy Robbins says is just straight up common sense boomer logic. Don't live beyond your means, save your money, take a paper bag with you for lunch, that kind of crap. Then, he sprinkles on some, dumb fucking advice that might have made sense like a few decades ago. Right now, buying real estate is one of the stupidest fucking investments you can possibly fucking make if you're actually buying it to make money. So the market is so massively fucking inflated, and we're kind of right at the peak of population density, or we're gonna start to see a population decline, and that's going to do a number of things to the economy. We're gonna get a pretty major economic slowdown for one thing, and then on top of that, just because there's less human beings, like real estate prices are gonna go down, and also rent. So he gives advice when it comes to real estate that made sense a few decades ago, but right now, real estate is just retarded to invest in. And then he has this other, esoteric bullshit that he prattles on about, you have to see a vision of yourself being successful and follow that vision, and he's just full of shit. The guy made like 90% of his fucking wealth just selling courses. He's been selling courses for the longest fucking time. He never made any real fucking money doing any of the fucking advice he, prattles on about. So he was just selling courses. He just slowly increased in popularity, kept selling more and more courses. And, all of his net worth is entirely made up of the fucking courses he sells. The courses, the, public events that you have to pay like 10 grand for. So the guy's just a fucking scammer. He gives worthless fucking advice that you can just get for free online. The majority of it's common sense. Small percentage of it is stupid shit that made sense a few decades ago that he hasn't really caught up with because the guy isn't an actual financial expert. He's just a fucking scammer. Thanks for the donation, Greg.
It's so weird to see so much misogyny from these men who claim to be progressive turds woman.
Oh, Tommy Robinson, Tony Robbins. I mixed them up. Wait. Tommy Robinson? Oh yeah, Tommy Robinson. He's pretty based. He's done a few stupid things, like he's, one of the dumbest things I've ever seen him do is, he was filming a guy who was suspected of, like, human trafficking, one of the people who are part of these, Muslim rape gangs, and he was in court for it. He ended up publicly outing the guy and basically doxing him, and that not only is just stupid on principle because the guy is literally defending himself in court. You have no idea if he's actually guilty or not. And it also compromised the court case. So if he actually wanted the guy to receive justice, he just shouldn't have done that, period. So he's done stupid shit like that. But as far as his overall opinion of Muslim immigration in the UK, is absolutely right. Shouldn't let these people in. Thanks for the donation, though, Greg. So weird to see so much misogyny from these men who claim to be progressive turds women. I don't know what you mean by that, but thanks for the donation, Dodo. Greg Vegan in it. Greg Vegan in it, donators. I meant Tommy Robinson, English lad who talks about dangers of Islam, yeah. Yeah, that's my general opinion of him. Thanks for the donation, Greg.
There ties to Nancy Pelosi at all? Is this like a?
He was supposed to testify against her.
That's the most plausible thing. I mean, if it's public, if it's public like this, and was he supposed to testify against her?
That's what some people say.
Is that a real thing? I mean, this is all.
Yeah.
Unless it's triple verified, it's fucking fake.
21st Savage donated $2. Let me see. 19 Yazidi girls who were burned to death in an iron cage by the Islamic State for refusing to convert to Islam and become sex slaves. Before killing them, the Islamists paraded them through the streets of Mosul, Iraq. Not a single person attempted to stop them. Yep, that's Islam for you. So, yeah, we should definitely let more of these people immigrate here.
Caused by the electricity grid, which is about 25% or so.
Exactly.
So 24%, it comes from agriculture and forestry. Why is that causing such a big increase in carbon?
Cows and other grass-eating species have...
I love these retarded posts. He fails to point out that the methane from cows breaks down into CO2 in water after 10 years. Grass absorbs the CO2 by photo... None of this information matters. It is a complete red herring. The issue is that CO2 in the atmosphere, including other greenhouse gases like methane, are accumulating. They are getting higher and higher and higher. And as a result, you are seeing increases in global temperatures. It doesn't matter if there is a CO2 cycle where some of it gets reabsorbed into the ground, some of it gets dissolved into the ocean, some of it ends up getting converted into oxygen through, photosynthesis. Doesn't matter if methane breaks down after 10 years. It's increasing. It's basically like if you were to fill a bathtub up with water while the drain is pulled out. So yeah, some of the water is going to pour down the drain, but if the water is pouring into the tub fast enough, the tub is eventually going to overflow. This is literally like saying, like, if you were to turn on the fucking water in like the bathtub or the sink, the drain is open, so some of the water is pouring through the drain, but the water is still filling up and overflowing. And then you tell your friend, hey, turn the water off, like the bathtub is overflowing. The sensible response isn't, oh, don't worry, the drain is open. If the drain's open, then the bathtub can't overflow. And then, no, it's overflowing, see? And then you say, oh, what are you, fucking stupid? The drain's open, so the water's going down. Like, it's that level of retardation where it's like, yeah, dude, the bathtub's overflowing. We have to turn the fucking water off. And then his response is, well, the drain's open, so the water is going somewhere. Like, it's retarded. It's a red herring. It has nothing to do with the actual observations we're seeing. So, yeah, greenhouse gases are accumulating in the atmosphere regardless of the fucking carbon cycle. So the solution to that is to produce less greenhouse gases, and all these dumbasses can say is, oh, but the drain's open. It's so stupid. They're just fucking morons. I can't stand these fucking people. Like, they never actually give any sensible arguments. It's all just nonsense. Dodo, don't need... Oh, never mind.
I was referring to these Hamas supporting SJW men who slints woman from asking you questions.
Oh, I see. Well, yeah, they're all hypocrites. What do you expect? Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Friend of the Pelosi family. Mangione was. But the guy said the guy had some insider info or something like that.
I mean, if there's any whiff of credibility to any Pelosi stuff, that's the most plausible, most believable thing here.
Yeah. When I see, he's like really Italian. He looks like he belongs, like, his life should have been like a cheesemaker in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he could have worked for the Sargento cheese family.
Is this Mangione named Mansion? Is his name Luigi Mansion?
He's so funny.
That would be really funny. Let's see.
Glutton.
Wow.
How do you say mansion in Italian?
Palazzo.
Palazzo.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
John Palazzo's been Johnny Mansions.
Johnny Mansions.
So, okay.
And the reason it's like, the reason I don't like it is because leftists do like it. And it's like the leftist mind, violence and destruction, that's how leftists create. They can't build a business on their own. They can't build anything
harmonic.
Anything generative.
React to these.
Let me see.
Ask me, David, how the hell do you run for so long? And many people think I am just built different, but all I really do is just tape a stick to my head and hang a piece of fried chicken at the end, so I never stop running for it.
May the Middle East get carpet bombed by Israel.
Yeah, we can only hope. Thanks for the donation, Johnny.
The fuck you staring at? Many people.
Pretty sure that's AI.
reason why I'm so good at putting the balls in a basket is because at a very early age, I learned to put cotton in a basket. The reason.
What do you call the new water and ooze blast and oozinator? Oh, yeah! Bleh! Gross! Oh, disgusting! And of course, awesome! The new oozinator blaster from Super Soaker. Major pumping required. Refill so.
That is very strange. Thanks for the donation, nigga.
Like a bridge or anything. In their mind, destruction and bringing things down is equivalent to creation. It's the same. It's like that's how they can manifest that impulse. And this is just, you saw the guy on TikTok that made the CEO most wanted playing cards?
No.
Type in most wanted CEO playing cards.
Oh god, I can only imagine who's on the head of that Lockheed Martin guys.
The whacked deck.
Oh.
This guy, right? Like this is the guy. To this guy, this is the coolest thing on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
Which when as soon as I saw this murder, I was like, whoa, that's cyberpunk. That's awesome. But I have to look at who's getting the most enjoyment out of this.
When you see these things, right, and then you have a reaction to them, how often do you find yourself going, cool, badass, yeah, you'll even make a post or something about it, and then like you give it a couple of days to settle in, and then you sort of like not reverse course or like you change course a little bit. Does that happen to you a lot?
Not anymore. I just because I withhold judgment until a few days later.
Okay.
Like when I saw this shooting, I knew that my impulse was like, this is cyberpunk, this is badass. But I didn't allow myself to hold on to any opinion like that because you never know if you're watching it. It's some shit that you're being allowed to watch, probably.
Right.
Like unless it's a very rare, like Sky King type, the guy that hijacked that, like that type of thing. I don't think.
It's even weirder how they talk about toxic masculinity and yet can't see it in their own mirror.
Well, again, they're hypocrites and they don't even believe in what they espouse. So, thanks for the donation, Dodo. I am very fucking ill today. I don't know what it is, but I am so goddamn sick.
I think this is in the same category. This feels like Fugazi kind of. Like there's something strange about it.
It does feel like I'm being guided.
There's something suspect about it.
I mean, as the I used to kind of like say like I don't really give a fuck about politics. I'm looking at anarchy. Anarchy is fair. That's what people who are not necessarily like leftists or I think people who are like I don't give a. I just want the government to fucking go away, and I want them to feel.
Well, that's what any sane person wants, is just all the laws that are, like, they're obviously either to control people with criminal, like, they're genetically not even in the same category as you. They have criminal impulses. If they were left to their own devices, they'd be doing the tiring. What's that called? The tire necklace?
Yeah, the one in Africa?
Yeah.
Where they burn tires on you?
Yeah. The necklacing.
Necklacing.
Rampant fraud, fucking theft.
Yeah.
And, that's why laws exist. That's who the laws are for. Anybody who's sane wants to be left alone. So, but unfortunately, it's not possible to be left alone. You have to like play the game. You're in the game right now. You can't go homestead. You can't even do that. You're in the game no matter what. You're stuck.
Yeah.
And they'll find you. Like Ruby Ridge, that type of. Ruby Ridge. That's the guy. You don't know what Ruby Ridge is?
Waco.
Waco. He might have been fucking molesting those kids, but Ruby Ridge was just the Weaver family. It was this guy's family, and his son was walking around outside and saw a Fed in a ghillie suit, I think, and shot him. And so they killed this guy's family. They killed his kids. I don't know if they killed his wife.
Yeah.
But
no, they shot his child and gave him a medal.
But they'll find you though. That's the point. It's not even like the ATF or the FBI will find you. It's like modernity will find you. If you're in East Palestine, Ohio, you find the most, or West Virginia, you find the most idyllic place to run away and start your little farm. There's going to be a toxic cloud from a fucking train crash
right near you,
right over your family's heads in 15 years, 20 years, whatever. Yeah. Like modernity will find you.
So then to try to put this smoke screen out there, is that sort of to throw off scent? Is that to
the CEO shooting?
Yeah.
I don't even know, man. I don't know.
I think honestly, there's something to the thought of disguising like CEO publicity.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was crazy
for CEOs to be public figures.
Yes.
Yeah,
like that's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Like from years ago, and then like these guys going on like Shark Tank and be like, oh yeah, I run this company. It's like, what happens if like, like
you die?
There's foul ups.
What happens to the whole entire company if you die?
It's like that. Okay, so we're gonna have thousands of jobs dependent on X, Y, Z. What if this guy's like, sucking baby fucking cocks, or what if he's like Mark Cuban putting his hand up waitresses' assholes? Like, okay, cool. The Dallas Mavericks go for sale. So there's always been like a big danger to public
key man risk. That's
yes,
what it's called. Key man risk. Yeah.
So now they're talking about like corner office CEOs. That's gonna go away, and it's gonna be led by a group of question mark
teams of women.
Yeah, right. AI robot. Please.
Well, that's the way the Kamala Harris administration. It's just a team of people you don't know who they are, but it's just gay guys and women probably.
Yeah, community organizers. Yeah. People show up every day.
Who the fuck was I just thinking? Oh, the Sacklers.
Yeah, the Cokes, the Sacklers,
Cokes,
the
the
Murdochs.
Murdochs, the Waltons.
So you could be like, why is the CEO of Walmart evil? Or why is the CEO of Northrop Grumman evil? Or the Sacklers? Or the head of Dow Chemical? Or the head of Shell? Or the head of Anthem Insurance? Or whoever this guy is.
While the CEOs and QR code descriptions are on one side of the card, on the other side is an image of a shooting target. The debut of the new card game comes in the wake of United Healthcare's CEO being gunned down in the streets of New York December 4th. His death was praised by the socialist business owner, who said Brian Thompson's death was good news and called the assassin a hero in another
You
TikTok
get hit
video.
pause. I mean, it's just free speech, and these people are f***s. But the only caveat I would say to anybody who's enjoying the CEO killing is that they're the degenerate, autistic, Antifa type people who like revel in violence. That sickness, that mental sickness, you don't want that in your skill build. You don't want that in you. So that's the only thing I would say. But
it was a pretty big letdown. Remember the time I went to Occupy Wall Street with Jess when we first started dating? I was like, I gotta go see what's going on down there. And I went down there and it was a bunch of fucking fat cat lady sluts.
Yeah.
And a bunch of like bandana wearing fucking skinny tattoo artist pussies.
And it turned into a bunch of rapes too. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, they were just
21st Savage and I tell her, hey buddy, you skipped the last 2 links for my last dono, also my boy Spittin' Facts. Yeah, guess why?
The other obviously glaring possibility is that injecting billions of people with a vaccine that was not tested by any stretch of the imagination.
It was tested.
With the thoroughness that it should have before it was forced
It was thoroughly tested and nobody was forced to take it.
upon people also might be a contributing factor, partly because we know that it led to a rise in myocarditis among young men.
Yeah, it actually didn't. Myocarditis risk from the vaccine was lower
This
than
is how
from...
you embrace your inner 2019 vegan gains with minimal time to create.
Because all you motherfuckers look unhealthy as fuck. You got bags under your eyes. The 20-year-old bitches doing this diet look like they're 35. None of you can do the shit that I can do physically after 9 years being vegan. Oh, and the stronger argument, because the 100 years and billions of dollars into nutritional science to figure out what's best for humans, and it's not eating all meat, you ape-descending retard.
Yeah, thanks for the donation, Austin. What the hell was I on about? Yeah, Jordan Peterson's just a fucktard. We've already seen this. We reacted to this whole thing. Whatever. Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, bro, I'm already sick. Like, do you think I really want to put up with this fucking shit on stream?
They set up these tents, and there would be these like cute little college girls. It was just cute girls there, and guys would sneak into their tents and fucking finger them and rape them and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, that's who. Like they look like tattoo guys that weren't the one. They were like the 6th most.
You know, Spec King of which, why do these SJWs make such a big deal out of toxic masculinity and yet act like toxic femininity, which can be just as bad, does not exist?
Well, they have to target men because men are really the only ones that are a threat to their whole stupid, social and political ambitions. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Important tattoo guy at the shop.
Right.
And they couldn't find Wi-Fi, and they didn't understand what tethering was.
Yeah.
And I was like, tether off your phones. And they're like, what is that, dude? Hold on. Let me tap in. It was embarrassing. And I was like, I'm not even going to help this. And I had a sign that said, what about the Golden Boys? And they had no idea what that was. And their level of like conspiracy theory was like Joe Rogan episode 2.
Give us the money.
Dude, fiat currency.
Share the money.
Fiat currency.
Share the money.
Explain to me fiat currency. Like, okay, let's hear it. Not like I'd even give a shit or feel like doing that either, but
bunch
it
of
was embarrassing.
Yetzer Hara traps over there.
Yeah, there was a lot of Yetzer Hara traps, and I was like, guys, it was rough to watch that happen. And it was like a bunch of like single mom, like purple hair.
Yeah,
it was a rough scene.
Well, I mean, both of us have hung out with enough of those people, and I think when we meet them, when you see people like that, there is a pretty big party that says, you know what, maybe we should be enslaved. Maybe we should be debt slaves for Israel, because these people are fucking tapped, man.
You meet people along the way, and you say, I get a little bit more now why politicians do,
of course,
what they do.
Yeah.
I had one last night. There was this house that was fucking filthy, and they had Wisconsin Badgers stuff. They had the shower curtain, the pictures on the wall, the jerseys. The house was fucking not like.
Nobody asked you to put up with this shit on stream, buddy. Maybe you should consider not being a scared little bitch whenever anyone mentions the name Durian Rider. Ever
messy, like filthy. And like people who have like ode to their alma maters, slice your own fucking throat.
Have what to their alma maters?
Like an ode, like they like
an ode.
An ode to their alma mater. Like you're the educated American middle class. Like your parents had enough gumption to send you to school and keep you there and not let you drink. Like you drank, you smoked pot, you had sex, you did blowjob, you did finger pussy.
Those were the Fighting Badgers, of course we did.
Fighting Badgers, fighting today. And you and your friend Chris went there and painted half your body white, half your body red, and then he was half. And then you went back for 20 years and you gave them everything.
Yeah.
And you're what Fortune 500 companies absolutely adore because they can make you into a jam, into a little jelly. And I would kill you. I would go to the parking lot of every college football game, and everybody who's older than 24, anybody who's 24 to 40, gets slaughtered. I would hunt them out like an SS officer. Show me your identification! Present me with identification, date of birth immediately!
Yeah.
And they're like, 1984, kill him! Like it would be immediate. It would be immediate. Did you play sports here? No. Auto. You'd be on probation if you played top 3 sports, like girls volleyball, football, baseball, track, maybe, whatever. Under that, you're getting turned into dog food. I'm sorry. Like, and people in the Midwest, that should be as much of a red flag as like that's a mindless. Do you remember the house we rented? Were you there for that?
Where was it?
Atlanta. We rented a house, and the people who owned it,
like glass house.
No, not the glass one. The other one for the pilot. It was like a shitty condo, but it was new.
I don't think I was there.
And they had like Georgia Bulldog shit everywhere.
Ugh.
And then we met the girl.
Yeah.
And she was like marathon runner, 28-year-old who looked 40, and she was like skinny fat and her like fatty husband. And they were like, "It's just the right thing to do, Ryan." You know, and like her name was probably like Liz or something. But like they were like big Georgia Bulldogs fans.
Yeah.
Like that's worse than fantasy football. Like I don't mind if you're a fan of shit, you like watching it on TV. It's no problem. When you're going, and you're nameless and faceless.
It's a lot of work.
It's a ton of work. It's
It's
like
fucking like having a dog or something, or having a kid. It's a lifestyle. I can't go. I can't hang out. I got sports.
I have,
I have to watch
9
sports.
home games that I go to religiously. That costs more than, like you say, lifestyle. I always associate lifestyle with swinging. Like I'm in the lifestyle. Like that's harder to do than swinging. Like fans of like,
just get Grindr on your phone.
Yeah. Just do like this guy. Like just you can see it in the crowd. Like that picture ruined that guy.
Damn.
Look at that guy.
That's Mike Big Dog.
Oh, it's Mike Big Dog Woods.
Mike Big Dog Woods.
Put Mike's Supra.
The paint and the
First, I don't lean over it. Actually use my whole body. When I'm trying to shift, I'm not putting my head there and then moving. The proper way to do it, get up, shift the whole body with your head, continue the movement. And it's pathetic if you drop some and you stop looking and acting frustrated.
First, I have no clue what the I just watched. Was it a question of posture? Was it a question of lifting the things properly? Was it Krav Maga? What did I
Genetics.
don't even know. Okay.
Your body language, what you exude when you drop your suitcase. It's beta, the way you do it. How do you? Hold on. Like let's say I just dropped something. Like I dropped the soap.
Yeah.
How do you pick up the soap?
Woo! Got it. What's wrong with the web?
True VG social justice warriors my ass.
Yeah, they're just all narcissists, trying to control other people. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Seriously. Why are you cool with reacting to other men you see as rapists like Trump, Russell Brand, Islamic terrorists, but you're scared to death and won't mention or react to anything from that one man? Is it because he pulls better women than you?
No, he's still on YouTube, and I don't want him mentioned because he just benefits from people talking about him.
I didn't see that coming. Now that was beta. That was Gator. Gator.
What's wrong with the way I picked my up the soap?
Bitch.
What? No, I don't see no. How do you pick it up?
Me?
Yeah.
As an alpha male?
Yeah.
You don't ruin your first impression taking a drink from your favorite latte. How about you do this? Stop serving the cup. Drink it like a man. How did it look?
You're not gonna lick the rim before you. Because I always order Caesars, you know what I mean? And there's a rim of
like brown sugar?
The spice.
Spice, gotcha.
What it looks like from the side when you take a seat at the dinner table. Most of you will be leaning over the chair, pulling it over, then coming in and make it look effortless. Make that chair serve you. How does it look?
Constipated. You need to let some energy out when you sit down. Yeah.
I don't know what this is.
Here I am, grabbing it like an 8 and coming to business meeting. Make sure not to use underhand grip when carrying the folder. Making it all about the folder, but not about yourself. You grab the folder, approaching the business meeting, in this manner. How does it look?
What do the comments say? I can't even believe that they're not clowning this dude.
They are. I just carry it around in my mouth like a dog. Whoa. Basic stuff.
I can't imagine putting this much thought into just, you know, mundane shit like this. Does white meat like chicken breast increase risk of cancer? Why do doctors recommend white meat? There's not really any direct evidence from like large prospective cohorts. White meat isn't associated with cancer risk like red meat is. That's mostly why. It's like a safer option. It's also typically lower in saturated fat.
How do you brush your teeth like a man or whatever?
About being fully aware and present and making any space that we're in serve us. If we're about to take a seat on a bench, we don't want to take too little of space. Don't do it like that. Just don't. Why would other want to notice me if I'm trying to hide?
Man's praying. Yeah. Air them balls out.
Thinking about everything you do.
Everything is method. You look like a social experiment.
Okay.
System of domination by one racial group over another, and system.
This guy doesn't even realize like half of Israeli citizens are Arab.
Systematically oppressing them.
I'm asking a very simple, easy question. What is a Palestinian? What does that mean to you? So Palestinians in Israel have more rights than Palestinians in the West Bank?
Yes, according to Israeli law.
Okay.
The way they're treated by Israel.
I agree. What you just described then is not apartheid, because I just gave you the exact same racial group. One is a citizen, one isn't, and they're being treated differently on the basis of their citizenship. But your definition of apartheid said racial domination.
You consider like Hezbollah like a secular leader now. They've gained like a lot of political power in Lebanon.
You'd say that Hezbollah is like a secular group?
Yeah, I would say so.
If you're trying to downplay any potential terrorist activity, you're trying to make it sound like all of the resistance was noble and there was very little of any terrorist attacks. So
Jackass.
The dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. You are reporting that someone stole the drugs that you were trying to sell them.
Sir, I'm broke. I'm just trying to make a little bit
At what point does this make any sense?
What the fuck?
At what point?
It doesn't make
At what
sense.
point do you think telling the cops that some
It's funny as they spell lose wrong. It's a loose situation.
someone stole...
I'm being honest. He's not being honest. Where's what he...
Are there drugs in this car?
No, there isn't.
There no drugs in my car.
There isn't. There isn't.
469. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
469.
Oh, Lord. Where are you at?
Oh my God!
Quite possibly.
I saw that on Cops before too. Some dude called the cops because somebody stole his cocaine. Thanks for the donation, Killing Titan.
it sounds like you're saying.
Yeah, majority of it. I would say so.
They don't have the right to commit terrorist attacks. Do you think they had the right to commit the attack on October 7th?
So chat, if y'all don't know, this is Destiny, the omniliberal. He's known specifically for being a cuck. He potentially gave head to a Nazi, and I have a lot of disagreements with him over his viewpoints.
React to this.
Kevin, you better get ready to edge with Diddy soon.
I'm waiting for Diddy to come out of the bathroom. He's taking a shower, but I guess I could go in there and have a Diddy party. Hopefully he has more of that baby oil.
No one in this family wants to edge with me.
Then maybe you should ask Santa to have a Diddy party.
I don't want a Diddy party. I want to edge. Diddy parties suck.
Just have a Diddy party. I don't want to see you again for the rest of the night.
I don't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life. But I really want a knee surgery.
That is not happening.
I made my whole family get a low taper fade.
Well, that's weird. Thanks for the donation, Diddy.
To Palestine. So I will be going over that today. So I would say I have 3 main points that I disagree with you about.
Cool.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, wait, let me just minus. So this is what do you go by online?
You can call me Hassan, or Flacco's Palace, whatever you prefer. I don't really care.
Cool, gotcha. Do you live in America?
I live in Canada.
Okay, cool. All right. So this guy from Twitter, white dude, Westerner, no purpose in life, desperately wants to tie himself to some type of issue in the Middle East. So he's chosen the Palestinian shit. Doesn't know anything about it, feels strongly about it, but he decided to chirp at me on Twitter. And now we're going to have an awkward 20-minute conversation where we find out that he actually has no idea what the f he's talking about. But
oh my god, this guy likes Che Guevara.
yeah, all right. What do you want to start?
Okay. So I would say I have 3 main points that I disagree with you about. The first one being, I think Israel is an apartheid state. Very clearly. The second point is there should be a two-state. I mean, there shouldn't be a two-state solution. There should be a one-state solution, and that Israel has been committing genocide in Gaza since October 2023. So, if you want, we can go over in order. I would start with the apartheid state.
Oh, dude, that's always a good sign. Rather than saying Gaza, they say Gaza. Oh, fuck you.
I can explain my points to you. You can do a rebuttal now. It's up to you.
Go for it if you want.
All right. So, just to begin with, I think it's fair to just define apartheid, so we can kind of have like a mutual agreement on that. So right here I have a quote that basically says, the crime against humanity of apartheid is perpetrated when particular serious human rights violations are committed with the purpose of establishing and maintaining a system of domination by one racial group over another and systematically oppressing them. So to begin with, I would say my first point is the legal duality that occurs for Palestinians versus for Israelis. So Palestinians live under military law versus Israelis live under civil law.
Wait,
so for example, for Palestinians...
Real quick, the definition that you had, you said that included domination over one racial group for another? Why are you talking about Israelis?
Yeah. I'm talking about them as like an ethnicity, because the way the Palestinians are treated versus Israelis is completely different.
Is Israeli an ethnicity?
Well, it's a nationality, but I think it still falls under the same premise, because essentially if you're not a Jewish Israeli, you don't have the same privileges as a Palestinian, and Palestinians can't even become Jewish.
How many, wait, I thought, aren't there Arabs that live in Israel that have citizenship?
Yes, but they still don't have the same rights, I would say. And I'm talking about the specific Palestinians versus Israelis, not Arab Israelis. Because a lot of them aren't Palestinians.
Really?
Yeah.
You know that if you told one of them that, they'd be incredibly offended, right? Like Arab Israel.
Yeah, this guy has no fucking clue, dude. There are Palestinians that have Israeli citizenship.
Israelis consider themselves to be Palestinians, right?
Well, technically they are Israelis now. They fall under the Israeli citizenship.
Being an Israeli has nothing to do with being an Arab or Palestinian, unless you're unironically making the argument that Palestinian is only a national identity. Is that what we're going to say? Do you want to go with that one, or?
Well, I'm talking about Palestinians that live in the West Bank or Gaza, specifically in the West Bank because of the way that they're treated compared to Israelis, people who fledged.
Yeah, you keep saying Israelis, but so your definition of apartheid was one racial group over another, and then you're going with Israeli, which is a nationality, and then it sounds like you're going to tell me that citizens of a country have more rights in that country than people who aren't citizens of that country. So I don't know if you're talking about a racial group, or I don't know if you're talking about citizens of one country or another, or...
I'm talking about Palestinians that are specifically under a military occupation, which, if you'd allow me to state my point, the point I was making was, in the West Bank, Palestinians are governed by Israeli military law, which grants the Israeli military extensive powers over civilian life. So this includes things such as allows prolonged detention without charge or trial under administrative detention, which is illegal under international law. It subjects civilians, including children.
Yeah, it's not. He's talking about military detention, so if you commit an act of terrorism... you can go through a different court system, and it's not illegal under international law. He's full of shit. Like, by the way, the United States did a similar thing. They actually used a lot of Syrian prisons to keep terrorists locked up.
To military courts where conviction rates exceed 99%. And this is according to an Israeli human rights organization called B'Tselem. It also does not guarantee basic legal protections, such as the right to a fair trial or the presumption of innocence towards Palestinians, versus, in stark contrast, Israeli settlers living in the illegal settlements in West Bank are subject to Israeli civil law. Despite residing in the same territory, civil law offers them the full legal protections, including the right to due process, legal representation, and appeals in civilian courts.
So did ChatGPT prepare the script for you, or?
Brother, I did my own research.
When, yesterday?
No, I've been doing my own research.
Okay.
Are you going to bring up any point, or are you just going to make some stupid
No,
remark?
like you're reading a chat summary, like you're reading a chat summary. So it's very obvious, right? Best element, Israeli human right. That is, it's the human rights. Like that's even the phrasing of that was stupid. Like
You haven't came back against a single point I made. You're just making some stupid remark.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm just remarking your lack of knowledge when you accuse me of being racist, and that's where my opinions come from. You don't even know anything about the region. But the thing is that from the very beginning, you don't know. But that's fine. I'm glad you can pronounce Gaza correctly, being a white Canadian. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's. I'm Lebanese actually. I'm not a white Canadian. So I don't know where you got that from, buddy. At least I'm not Gusano.
Manga C donated $2. First video is pretty interesting.
A population of apes lived in the middle of the jungle, eating the plentiful plants on the grounds and occasionally searching out rarer fruits in the trees. But as the once shallow Congo River in the middle of their range started to get wider and deeper, the ape population was split in two. Though the north and south of the river contained the exact same kind of apes, they were now fatefully confined to separate environments. From fossil evidence, we know those environments were ever so slightly different from each other. It just so happened that the one south of the river had lots more plants on the ground, and the one north of the river had big mean gorillas. And most researchers think that these two small differences caused the groups of apes to eventually split into two species, one that was violent and one that was super snuggly. Why did they end up so different? Well, if you were an ape north of the river, there would be lots fewer ground plants to eat, and big mean gorillas already eating them, so you'd be more likely to search out rarer fruit up in the trees instead. If you were more aggressive than other northern apes, you'd be more likely to get more fruit when you did find it. And because you got more fruit, you'd not only be more likely to survive, but you could use that fruit as a way to attract a potential mate. On the other hand, if you were an amiable ape living,
I know I've sent you a bunch of these videos. But come on man. 725 pounds while being well under 300 pounds in body weight. Strongest pound for pound benched. 725 pounds, 725 fucking pounds.
Yeah, that guy's bench strength doesn't make any sense. Thanks for the donation, Killing Titan. 21st Savage, Johnny Taylor's according to you, that one man benefits from you. Talking about him, but other alleged rapists don't benefit from you talking about them. Be real. Uh-huh. These people are just worthless pieces of shit.
We wish for the liberation of the Palestinian nation, an end to the occupation. And
Hopefully she gets hit by a bus. Thanks for the donation, dude.
in the north, you'd likely get less fruit and fewer opportunities to mate. But south of the river, there would likely be plenty of ground plants to go around, and no gorillas, so being aggressive wouldn't get you more food. In fact, in a place where there was no reason to fight over food, being a jerk could make you an outcast, an easier target for predators, and much less likely to find a mate. But if you were an amiable ape in the lush south, you'd likely make more friends, and thus be less likely to be eaten by a predator, and more likely to get to reproduce. After thousands of generations, these slight changes in the advantageousness of certain traits led to entirely new species. North of the river, gorilla country, was stocked with aggressive apes likely to attack any outsiders they came across. These are chimpanzees. And the lush south was packed with bohemian simians that took friendliness to such an extreme that they were more likely to make love than war. These are bonobos. Now, we aren't exactly sure how much the gorillas mattered versus the vegetation, and there may have been other factors that contributed to the split, but when the Congo River got big, it turned the apes into two species.
Well, I guess we need eugenics. Oh my god. I can't fucking stand these stupid animal voiceovers. Just ruins the fucking video. Oh.
Oh gosh.
Wow. Capybara and dogs are friends. That's nice. Oh, that's a goat. Oh, that's a good goat. Eating his vegetables like a good goat. Thanks for the donation, Mangacy.
Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry. So you have citizenship in Lebanon, or?
Yeah. I have a passport for Lebanon.
Oh, okay. Good job. I don't know why you introduced yourself as Canadian, then, but okay.
You asked what country I'm from. Where do I live? You literally said that. I said I'm from Canada.
So you're
But
from
I'm
Canada,
Lebanese.
you live in Canada.
How many
you
Canadian
also
people do you know
have
named Hassan, bro? Like, are you stupid?
Do you think that people from the Middle East don't live in Canada and the United States? What do you mean?
Yeah, but my original background is that I'm
Was I
Lebanese.
supposed to assume what country you were from because of your name? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Is that the implication there?
Bro, I'm Lebanese. You introduced me as a white Canadian, bro. Like, come
no,
on.
because you're white. You're Canadian. Yeah, so I'm not... For apartheid, in your definition, this is the one that you gave me, okay? You said that it was racial domination, and you're talking about national groups. In the United States of America, if you're a non-U.S. citizen on any U.S. territory, you don't have the same rights afforded to as U.S. citizens.
Since seed oils are fine, is it okay to eat fried foods every day as long as they're within caloric maintenance? So there is research on consuming oils that are being cooked at high heat, and it appears to be safe. The issue is if you're getting fried food from a restaurant, so like McDonald's or something, they may not swap out their fryer oil for like a week, and they're continually heating that oil at an extremely high temperature. That might be a unique circumstance where eating oil cooked at high heat is a very bad idea, but when you're just talking about, just cooking for yourself over a stovetop, and you're not reusing the oil over and over again, should be fine.
Citizens. So, but that makes sense. It's going to be true in every country. That's not apartheid. That's just being a citizen or not being a citizen. So I'm trying to figure out what is the racial domination part.
The domination is the way that Israelis are treated versus the way that Palestinians are specifically treated. It's
Again, do you
incorrect.
understand that Israeli is not a race?
I understand, but I'm talking about the military occupation that goes over Palestinians.
Sure,
They
you
are
want to
treated
talk about the
completely
military
different.
occupation, we could talk about that, but that's not apartheid then. By your definition, by the original definition in South Africa, it's racial domination. This doesn't sound like racial domination. This sounds like an issue with, you can talk about occupation, you can talk about different standards for citizens versus non-citizens in occupied territory, but I don't know what the apartheid part is when the definition that you gave is the racial domination part. Another reason why I know that you use ChatGPT is because if you follow any of the current readings, any Amnesty International, anybody talking about it, they usually don't have that racial domination part as part of their definition because that totally sinks this argument for this region. But you have it in here because you asked
I literally
ChatGPT,
got that
they gave you the
specific
original.
quote
They gave you the original
from Amnesty International, but you're assuming some other shit. Like, that's weird.
Okay, well, the massive page that Amnesty International, when they write about the domination, the difference between like...
Gay boy, Hexcorn donated $2. Hexcorn loves sexy porn. Is a chronic masturbator and cum constrainer. Master blaster, cum disaster. David Blade, cum crusade. Can you watch? Need something to fap to, and this ain't doing it.
Ah, you heard what about fart to? Fart on that thing.
Right, girls? Squirt to
My upstairs neighbor began listening to the Talk to a podcast. Well, I should say he was watching it. He started watching it 2 months ago. He seemed to mock it at first, mumbling to himself.
No. It's so dumb.
And I didn't pay much attention to it. Things felt so normal then. It wasn't until that night he knocked on my door. He raised his head along with his phone to look at me, a crazed look in his eye, accompanied with a sticky, wet smile.
Joke, right?
You will set you free.
into this. Is it hot?
That was not good. Wandering Mason donated $3. Let me see. Oh. Those little oinkers.
Oh my. Minutes.
Wow. Those are good at oinkers. That is a cute little potato. Thanks for the donation, Wandering Mason.
It's not racial domination. We're talking about the country of Israel. You're talking about Israel. That's a citizenship. That's a nationality. There are Arabs. There are Arab Palestinians that live in Israel that are Israeli citizens. Here's a question: would an Arab Israeli have the same rights as people living in the West Bank who aren't Israeli citizens?
Okay, so I'm going to continue with a quote specifically that talks about the way, because you have to understand that Israel governs the entire region.
Can I just tell you how
the way
gross
Palestinians are being treated versus Israelis.
It's so gross. Okay, I understand that like the need for like some people do red pill and Andrew Tate, and some people want to pretend that they're Palestinian or whatever. But like, why would you have the audacity to come here when you so clearly have no idea what you're talking? Or it's because you think I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. I just got it. It all just clicked. I'm sorry. Read me your next quote. Go ahead.
So, this is from another human rights organization, an Israeli one, that basically talks about how roughly 15 million people, about half of them Jews and the other half Palestinians, live between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean Sea under a single rule. Important point, under a single rule. The perception that there are two separate regimes in this country, a democracy on one side of the Green Line within Israeli sovereign borders and a temporary military occupation on the other, is divorced from reality. All of us, Jews and Palestinians alike, live in this area in a binational reality under a single regime. However, not everyone will be permitted to vote in the coming elections, which will determine the government and our lives in the coming years. About half of the population, all the Palestinians who live in this area, whether they are citizens, permanent residents, or subjects.
With no previous symptoms. I'm so sorry. I think it's circling. Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Are either fully or partially excluded from this decision-making process. One regime governs the entire area and the fate of everyone in it. This regime operates according to a single organizing principle, advancing and cementing the supremacy of one group over another, Jews over another, Palestinians. Under this regime, Jewish citizens have the monopoly on political power.
Okay.
So that's my personal viewpoint on what's going on with it.
Wait, was that your personal viewpoint, or was that a quote from somebody?
That was a quote from B'Tselem, but I would say I agree with that viewpoint as well too.
Okay. Wait, real quick. Can you look at your camera and repeat what you just said without reading that off?
You want me to repeat an entire quote just by looking at the camera?
No, I just want you to give me the gist of it.
So the main gist of it is that Palestinians are not treated the same as Jewish people. They do not have the same voting rights compared to Jewish people.
Oh, as Jewish people. Okay. So are Arab Palestinian Israelis that live in the country of Israel, are they not allowed to vote?
Well, I mean, they still have like certain things that I would say are a little bit different compared. Like, I'm talking about Palestinians versus Israelis specifically, because Palestinians are still governed under the Israeli regime. That's something you have to make important. Like, it's not like there's two different regimes that are there. Like, Palestinians in the West Bank are specifically dealing with the consequences of Israel. Palestinians in Gaza are dealing with a blockade, a siege on Gaza.
Do Palestinian Arabs in Israel, can they vote like Israeli citizens, or?
Yeah, but you have to understand from the perspective that this is the occupier. This is the occupying regime, and these are people that are basically accepting the occupier. People that want to live there as Palestinians are treated completely differently. Unless they fully accept the Israeli regime, that's the only way, but it's not fair because these people are the occupiers.
Gotcha. So are Arab Palestinian Israelis, are they able to vote the same way that Jewish Israelis are able to vote?
I'm not talking about Arab Israelis specifically. I'm talking about the way Palestinians are being treated.
What are Palestinians to you? What does that mean to you?
People that live in the West Bank, people that live in Gaza.
All of them?
That are specifically dealing with military occupation.
So if I move to the West Bank or if I move to Gaza, am I a Palestinian?
People that are Palestinians. There are people that are living in legal settlements.
I'm asking you, what is a Palestinian? What does that mean to you?
Bro, this guy has no fucking clue. This is why all of this shit is just predicated on anti-Semitism. This guy has no fucking idea what he's talking about, but he's just decided that Jews are evil when he knows nothing about any of this.
People that live in Palestine, that were specifically there from before, that consider themselves Palestinian. You have to also understand that.
Stop saying you have to understand. I understand all of this. I'm asking you a very simple, easy question. What is a Palestinian? What does that mean to you?
What kind of question? Bro, there's different ID statements for different Palestinians. There's Palestinians that have specific residencies. There's Palestinians that are considered citizens. There's people that don't have any type of residency or ID card at all. Like, it's very, very discriminatory based on different types of things. And it's very difficult to get any of these types of permits or agreements in the first place.
Okay, I'm going to ask you again, I guess. What is a Palestinian? What does that mean?
What kind of stupid ass questions? What is a Palestinian? People that live in Palestine.
What is Palestine?
The fuck is? Okay, I'm just gonna move on to my next point, Brooks. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You know how gross this is? Holy shit, you're grifting so fucking hard on this whole issue. Do you feel like any shame, or have you ever been to Lebanon before?
Yeah, I grew up there. I lived there most of my life.
Where?
In El Shuf.
Okay, and you don't know what a Palestinian is?
Why are you asking me what a Palestinian is? Do you know what a stupid question that is?
I'm trying to understand. You're from Lebanon. You said you lived there most of your life. You don't know what a Palestinian is.
Palestinians are people that live in Palestine. People that don't reside under an Israeli citizenship.
What is Palestine?
What the f is this guy saying, bruh? Am I talking to a parrot? Like Destiny, bro. What the f are you saying, bruh? What is Palestine? Is that your serious question towards me?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, so beyond the legal system, Palestinians also face.
Wait, I'm just curious. Can you tell me what do you think Palestine is?
Oh my God. Palestine is the territory from the river to the sea, the Jordan River, the Mediterranean Sea, where people lived originally before 1948, where it became certain parts became occupied Palestine.
Okay, so all of that is Palestine. So then, wouldn't the Arab Palestinians in Israel be Palestinians then?
Well, they're in occupied Palestine, which is essentially called Israel.
Are those people able to vote like the Jewish Israeli citizens?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the Palestinians who are still being discriminated against, and that the military occupation directly applies to them. I'm not talking about people that are in Israel.
So what's the difference?
Moroccan Israelis.
So then, what's the difference?
Other areas as well.
What's the difference between Palestinians in the West Bank and Palestinians that live in Israel?
Thank you. Finally, not a fucking dumbass question, bruh. So there's many different things that you could talk about. For example, freedom of movement. Palestinians are subjected to hundreds of military checkpoints across the West Bank, curfews, and the apartheid wall, which restricts access to schools, hospitals, and workplaces.
No, I'm asking you, what's the difference between Palestinians in the West Bank and Palestinians in Israel?
The way that they are treated by the military occupation.
Wait, so
that is the complete difference.
So Palestinians in Israel have more rights than Palestinians in the West Bank?
Yes, according to Israeli law.
Okay.
The way they're treated by Israel.
I agree. What you've just described then is not apartheid, because I just gave you the exact same racial group. One is a citizen, one isn't, and they're being treated differently on the basis of their citizenship. But your definition of apartheid said racial domination.
Yeah, I'm talking about the ones that are being discriminated against in Palestine.
But it sounds like it's not because of their race, it's because they're not citizens.
Yeah, people that don't support the Zionist regime are going to be treated that way. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, so for you, apartheid is when no citizenship then? Is that just to be clear?
No, apartheid is the unfair treatment of civilians in a specific area that they occupy.
That wasn't the definition that you gave me.
Because look at the way Palestinians are treated.
Okay, wait, scroll back up. Can you reread me the racial domination part of your apartheid definition?
Yeah, so a system of domination by one racial group over another and systemically oppressing them.
Okay.
Which they are doing. They are systematically oppressing them.
But it sounds like they're not oppressing a racial group. They're oppressing a group of non-citizens who happen to majorly be of a certain race. But that same racial group that's...
But they still occupy that area. They're in control of that area.
If you want to say they occupied, I'm not disagreeing with you there, sure.
Yeah.
And if you want to say the treatment is even unfair or is, it's an occupation that's gone on for way too long or whatever, that could be true as well, sure. But it's not...
Dude, like, what do you expect from a fucking tankie? Like, they're just retarded.
It doesn't sound like it matches your definition of apartheid.
No, it definitely is apartheid.
Oh.
Palestinians are literally being treated under military law, bruh.
Is that apartheid? Military law is apartheid?
Towards a specific racial group, yes.
It's not
towards
Palestinians. Wait, so are the Palestinians in Israel subjected to military law?
No, because they're not a part of that regime. They're part of the Zionist regime.
Yeah, so it's not a racial thing. It's a nationality thing. It's like, are you a citizen or not?
Yeah, but that's still...
That's
like you're deflecting from the original statement, but it's still wrong. Like you're justifying something that isn't correct.
Just to be clear, I'm not justifying shit. I'm just trying to get your definitions right. I never said that it was a good thing, it was okay, it was morally acceptable. I never said that. I'm just saying that it doesn't match the definition of apartheid.
But you're sitting here focusing on the technicalities when I'm telling you about the way that Palestinians are being treated inhumanely in comparison to Israelis.
Then why not?
Mangacy donated $2. The music is kind of annoying, but the photography looks amazing. Wonder what kind of cameras they used.
We're back, baby, and bigger than ever. Don't worry, though. Bugs are still kind of small. Whoa, where'd he come from? We magnify the micro worlds all around us.
Well, they're just macro lenses.
Our cameras are getting closer than ever before, in a real bug's life, too. Well, hello. Film that.
Thanks for the donation, Mangacy.
And you're sitting here looking at the technicalities of the word.
Because you're using a technical word. Why use the technical word? Why not just focus on the unfair treatment or the lack of humanity or the lack of any long-term resolution or the lack of material access to things like water or food or whatever? Why are you focusing on apartheid? Why not just have the conversation about the actual conditions instead of using a technical word and getting mad when people want to have a technical conversation about it?
Because you're specifically focusing on the word. You're not looking at any of the points that I'm making because you can't deny them. You're specifically just looking at that word.
Denying a point is not the same as denying your argument. For instance, if I say you're stupid and I say because the sky is blue, we all agree the sky is blue, but that doesn't mean you're stupid, right? Just because I agree with the underlying points doesn't mean they support the argument. If you want to say that the conditions are bad or that there's an occupation or there needs to be a resolution, that's fine. But you gave a definition of apartheid that included in it racial domination, but the exact same racial group seems to have incredibly different treatments depending on if they live in Israel as a citizen or not in Israel.
Well, that's still not unfair. If you look at, for example, like the way the Palestinians are treated in the West Bank, you can't specifically look at that and say that this is not an apartheid system. It is incredibly unfair in that sense.
Apartheid is one unfair?
Fucking guy.
All right, what's your next point?
So It says here as well, too, the dual legal system and the associated inhumane treatment of Palestinians fit the definition of apartheid as outlined by the International Convention on the Suppression and Punishment on the Crime of Apartheid. Amnesty International's 2022 report also concluded that Israel operated an apartheid regime that systematically oppresses Palestinians through legal, physical, and social mechanisms, which I would agree with.
Okay.
You can even look at the resource allocation as well, too. Palestinians in the West Bank are denied fair access to water, electricity, agricultural resources, and they are disproportionately allocated to Israeli settlements. And Gaza, the situation is even worse due to the ongoing blockade, which has created a full humanitarian crisis, with 97% of the water being supply being unfit for consumption.
Okay. None of this is apartheid, but okay.
Okay, so just to confirm, do you agree with any of the points I've been making that Israel, the way they treat Palestinians, is completely unfair, specifically in the West Bank, compared to how they treat Israeli citizens?
Yeah, I would say it's unfair for sure.
So you would agree that they both fall under the same regime, but the way that Palestinians are treated in the West Bank and Gaza is completely different to the way that Israelis are treated, like as one another.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just want to confirm that. So yeah, I would say that's my main point. I got you to admit the points that I wanted, which is good. So my next point is that there should be.
Just to be clear, hold on. I've never said this before.
I think you always play like deceitful tactics where you kind of undermine the suffering that Palestinians go through. And for that, I just wanted to clarify and make sure that you understand that the way that Palestinians are treated, specifically in the West Bank and Gaza, is completely different to Israeli citizens, which is obviously something that is wrong.
Do you think? Hold on, I'm just a sanity check. Do you think I don't know that?
Well, you know it, but you haven't been making it clear. I feel like you're disingenuous with the statements because you might have some underlying racism towards Arabs.
Have you ever seen me have a debate with a pro-Zionist person?
I have, and I feel like a lot of your statements are very disingenuous, but to be honest, they are kind of boring. For example, you'll talk about things like historical claims to the land, which is kind of like a broad statement. It can apply to both sides as well, too. You kind of try to undermine.
Yeah, go ahead. Wait, hold on. When you say historical claims to the land, do you think that I argue that like one side has a valid historical claim, the other doesn't?
That's what I assumed, yeah. Because you would argue based off things like legal foundations, such as the Balfour Declaration and UN resolutions, which I also don't agree with because, again, it is an occupier versus the occupied. So it's unfair to say, like, yeah, just because the English people supported it and, like, suddenly the democratic process is involved. Resolution 3236.
Okay. Imagine you are extremely well-read and educated on a particular issue. Some person has incredibly strong thoughts on it. They bark at you on Twitter, and then they want to come on and talk about it. And it's very clear they have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. What do you think the approach? What do you think the approach would be?
Well, I think responding to any of the points that they make would be a good start.
Okay. What if you feel like they can't substantively agree, like engage with the points? Do you just try to talk through all of them?
Well, that's what you've been attempting to do, but I've just been going back to it, and a lot of it you've ended up just kind of ignoring or
Peter Thiel is.
I am very, very sick. And I don't think I can keep streaming. I feel like I'm going to vomit and pass out. So I think I'm just gonna lay in bed for the rest of the night. I'm gonna try to get better for tomorrow. But, yeah, I'm very ill. I don't know if I caught something or what. But I'm gonna have to take the night off. But, nah, I barely had any nicotine today at all. But, hopefully I can see you all tomorrow. And, you know. But big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. I'll try to be on tomorrow night. Sweet dreams.